Porgs be like, we're the cutest thing since Ewoks. And Baby Yoda be like, hold my space frog, bitch. How's it going, everybody? This is Phil, and I'm over here on Inverse.com, and I saw an email come through saying that Hasbro has released, they've set up a release date for some Baby Yoda toys and merch. Everyone's going crazy for Baby Yoda, so I figured I'd do a quick little video on it and share some of the things that Hasbro is going to be bringing to the table. Unfortunately, none of this stuff is going to be out for the Christmas season, so you're going to have to make do with t-shirts and whatever else you could possibly get your hands on for your Baby Yoda fix. People seem to be making these things over on Etsy. So there is a market for it, I guess a black market for Baby Yoda if you can find your way to somebody who's pretty crafty and able to make these little toys and whatever the case may be. Maybe you can get one. But to get the official merchandise, you're going to have to wait until looks like May. So this is Baby Yoda plush toys and merchandise price and release date revealed by Hasbro. So we can see here, it's mostly just concept art that they've released, but this is, essentially what you could expect to get once this stuff does hit the shelves. So I'm going to head over to Hasbro's site, and we'll be able to check out what they have over there. It's several items. It's all just basically Baby Yoda in various poses and sizes and material that they're going to be producing the toys in. And let's just go over there, check it out, and see what's doing. Okay, so the first thing that we have over here, they call this the Bounty Collection. So these are 2.2 inch tall figures. They're non-posable. So it's going to be a static pose. There's no articulation whatsoever. And these are vinyl figures. So they're going to be just kind of just plastic figures that you'll be able to put on your shelf or on a desk or, something like that. The little kids can play with them and they have the little action figures. But there'll be no posability with these things whatsoever. So as far as these are concerned, they're going to come 2 to a pack. And they're being released in 3 sets. So the first one we can see here, we have him with the bowl of soup, and then we have him here, one eye half open, and then just wrapped up, little Baby Yoda, ready to take a nap or maybe waking up from a nap. So that's the first set. The second set shows him playing with the knob off of the lever from the Razor Crest in that one episode. And then we have him over here. He seems to be reaching out, looking for a hug, for somebody to pick him up. And, cute little action figures. And then for the final set, we can see him here. He's eating a space frog. And then this is him reaching out to the Mandalorian when he was injured in episode 2, and he was trying to heal him, and the Mandalorian didn't realize that he had any type of special abilities and just kept picking him up and putting him back into his crib. So that's the first series of toys that we have up here, and each pack is going to be $15.99 each, so $16 each for the 2 packs, and here's all 3 of them in one shot. So that's what you got. Okay, so we'll move on to the next thing in the line, and that is the Black Series. So they're going to be releasing a Baby Yoda in the Black Series, and you can see here this comes with a few of his accessories from the show. And you can see we have the little frog and the knob and his bowl with the soup. And this figure is only going to be an inch, 1.2 inches tall. So these little accessories are going to be really, really tiny, really easy to lose. So, if this is going to be given to a child, these things are going to get lost on day one. And even Baby Yoda, I mean, you might not, he's going to be under a couch cushion or something pretty quickly. So, but, for the collectors who collect the Black Series, he'll be in scale with the Mandalorian figure that they released earlier, the heavy artillery gunner, IG-11. So he'll be in scale with all of these figures in the Black Series. So you'll be able to have a Baby Yoda for that collection as well. And this is going to be $9.99, so $10 for this figure. I mean, at 1.2 inches tall, I mean, you're almost just, it almost costs more to make the box than it does to make this figure. And again, these are just renderings. These are 3D renderings of the figure. They still have to probably send this out for die making and everything that needs to be done, all the tooling and everything needs to be done to get these figures. This figure is supposed to have articulation. It doesn't say how many points of articulation, but it will be posable. So that's the deal with the Black Series figures as opposed to those first 3 sets of 2 that we saw. So that's the Black Series figure, and then we can move on over to the next thing that they're going to be releasing. And this is a 6.5-inch figure, and this guy, it says he's also going to have multiple points of articulation according to the description on Hasbro. And you can see here there's the scale, 6.5 inches. So you can see his arms are down here, and in this pose he's reaching out. Looks like his head may be tilting over as well. So he'll have some articulation in the arms, probably in the legs, probably a knee joint, and then some minor articulation in the head. So that's the 6.5-inch figure, and this one is going to cost $19.99, $20. And this is actually going to be the release dates for these are we go back really quick. For those 2 packs, the release dates are May 25th. For the Black Series, it's May 4th. For this figure, the 6.5-inch, it's May 11th. And then the final figure, which is probably going to be the one that's going to sell like hotcakes, is this little guy right here. This is the plush toy talking Baby Yoda. I mean, kids are going to want this. Adults are going to want this. It's a shame that they couldn't somehow figure out a way to get this thing in for the holiday season. But that's Jon Favreau wanted it to be a surprise, and it was a major hit. But geez, if they could have somehow kept the lid on it. But things like this always leak out, so I can understand them wanting to put story before merchandise. I respect that, but something, I mean, a little bit more than a t-shirt, something a little bit more substantial, because you're missing that big holiday season. Or maybe the right choice was to actually release this show down the line. Let episode 9 come out, then release this show perhaps in the summer, and then just you would have this build up. You would get ahead for the holiday season. I don't know, but anyway, this is the Star Wars The Child, aka Baby Yoda, talking plush toy. And this guy is 7.5 inches tall. You can see here he comes with a fabric robe, pretty nice sculpt on the head. He's seems to be posable. And look at the other pictures here. So that's a picture of him with the height. Again, he comes with the bowl of soup as well as the frog. And then, I mean, Jesus, this thing's going to sell like crazy. Even though it's going to be months from now, people are still going to snap this thing up. You could pre-order these now, actually. So I suspect it is a 2 limit per customer over on Hasbro's website. So I suspect people are all going to go in and just buy 2 of each and go crazy with eBay and scalp the hell out of these things. That's what I imagine going on. But so here's that picture. Here's the next picture. I mean, everyone's going to be buying this thing up. So I mean, when it finally does get here, yeah, these things I would imagine still are going to sell like crazy. They're going to have to come up with something the following Christmas season that's even more articulated, something that's completely interactive, an animatronic type Yoda with soft skin and the whole nine. I mean, like because people will pay. This one is $24.99. People will pay $150, $200 for a lifelike Baby Yoda that walks and talks and moves around and makes noises and can interact with you. I mean, people will go crazy. So that I expect to see next holiday season. These are the first things that they're probably going to get out just to fill the demand right away and then work on the next level stuff. And you could expect that by the time The Mandalorian gets going with season 2. I can almost assure you of that. I mean, they're not going to be a two-time fool as far as that's concerned. But anyway, guys, this one here comes out on May 18th. So all of these are coming out in May. I mean, it's just going to be 1 week after the next Baby Yoda merchandise. But unfortunately, you have to wait. Nothing for the Christmas holiday season, which is kind of a, it's a little bit of dropping the ball on their end. But I do, again, respect Jon Favreau for pushing to not have any merchandise produced, because it always leaks out. We've seen this time and time again. I mean, even recently with episode 9, we got that merchandise poster, and how many characters were on that, So it's like something always happens where a toy manufacturer leaks things out at an expo, and we end up seeing stuff ahead of time, and it creates spoilers, and it's just issues, and these are the types of things that happen. So yeah, did Disney make a mistake in a sense by not having merchandise for this because there's such a huge demand and his character is so popular and he's just breaking the internet? Yeah, that is kind of a bit of a misstep. But on the other end, you got to respect them for letting Jon Favreau have his way and say, no, I want this to be a surprise. And it was a surprise, and it took the internet by storm. I mean, if this stuff would have came out, these pictures months before The Mandalorian, we all kind of wouldn't have been expecting it. We just would have wanted to know how it played into the show. But maybe the way they did it in reverse, maybe that created more of a frenzy for it. And you can see here, just before I close out this video, this is an article that was published over on /film a few days ago, and this is Jon Favreau. Well, this is the quote from him regarding Baby Yoda. First they say, I mean, sure, but I think the real reason people love Baby Yoda so much is because he's so darn cute, and because he's basically a walking meme factory. And that's what kids these days crave. They also crave toys, but oddly enough, there were no Baby Yoda toys ready to coincide with the Mandalorian launch. That was all part of the plan. It's very difficult to keep secrets about projects you're working on, Favreau said. By holding back on that one product, we knew that we may have had the disadvantage of not having toys available day and date. But what we got in exchange was an excitement surrounding the character, because everybody felt like they discovered him together. That emulated more what my experience growing up was like. Disney understood the value of it. I felt that if we really wanted to connect with the Star Wars fans, we had to let them discover the story as it was unfolding. The marketing team and the leadership were all supportive of what my instincts were, and I think it paid off really well, because now people are excited to tune in every week to see what happens. And there you have it. And like I said, I have a tremendous amount of respect for Jon Favreau for pushing to keep this character a secret, because not only was he trying to give us something that felt more like the original trilogy, and it was a throwback to Sunrise and Western flicks and just Star Wars in general, but he also tried to recreate that feeling of discovery. And it was important for him to have the merchandise department and Disney hold back on releasing any types of toys or anything, because he didn't want a spoiler. He wanted everyone to kind of go along for the ride, and that's something that in this day and age where it's all about money first and story second, you have to appreciate that. So I'm definitely somebody who appreciates that. Somebody coming in here and just trying to do the best to make this feel as authentic as possible and give us a little bit more of an experience. He put some thought into it, and he figured maybe this would be the best way to go for the story that I want to tell, and then we'll deal with the merchandise down the line. And how often do you ever hear that? And look, it's very rare these days that I will say this, but you got to give kudos to Disney for just kind of going along with him on that, because I can't imagine that was an easy decision for them to make. Because looking at these images, they must have thought to themselves, we're going to make $1 billion this holiday season, and they're not. So say what you will about the mouse, but geez, this time they definitely put story before merchandise. But they'll get their merchandise money down the line. Believe me, they're going to sell a lot of Baby Yoda stuff. So anyway, guys, as always, thanks for stopping by to check out the video. I hope you enjoyed the content. Feel free to like, and if it's your first time here, subscribe. Leave any comments you like down below, and I will talk to you guys sometime soon. Until next time, be happy, be safe, be healthy. Have a great night. Bye-bye.